There's just one place where you could drive a new Acura ZDX for only $239 a month. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us number one.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help.
All right, we are live. It is Talkin' Racing now. I am Sean Stanley. He is Spencer O'Neill, and we are Talkin' Racing now. This, I guess, is the Phoenix Race 1 episode because, of course, the championship race is going to happen there. Overall, I thought it was a good racing weekend. I didn't get to watch the whole Xfinity race. I did get to go back and watch some of it, not everything there. So I'm going to rely on you, Spence. I don't know how much of that race you saw there.
That one, I saw all of it.
Yeah, you watched the whole thing.
I did.
Man. I was at this. It was the wifey's birthday weekend, and we were at the carnival. So I was watching it, and then we would do a couple games or rides or something. Then I would click it back on. And Phoenix this year to me, and again, I always look at Phoenix and Homestead as safe races, meaning usually not a lot happens. You know,
Right.
It's kind of like you get the start. And there's all, restarts are always what they are. And then once it straightens out, it's just kind of everybody just following everybody. This year, I didn't see that. And maybe it's been changing over the time, and I I had my blinders on. But I felt like the option tires, and I know they ran them, at a couple races last year, but I thought that brought, for the Cup side, and let's talk Xfinity first before we jump into Cup. For you, the takeaways from the Xfinity race for you.
All right. So Justin Allgaier, sorry. He was the best racer all day. And obviously he didn't win. He came up fifth. On the restart, he was kind of in front, and then he kind of got tapped, put him back to fifth, and he was just racing to come, and try to hang on to a top five, which he was able to do. So there at the end, we kind of got some action. We got Alex Bowman. We got Eric Almirola, and, the best car all day kind of fell back to fifth. But a lot of the day, all day, was kind of back and forth between a couple of people out front with clean air. Mm-hmm. I think we had Allgaier led 130 laps. And there's maybe 200 laps in the race.
Yeah.
So we had three leaders with any significant amount of laps. Eric Almirola, who won the race, led 25 laps. We got Alex Bowman, who led 5 laps, came in second. and then Justin Allgaier, who got 130. So, I mean, that's almost the entire race right there. I didn't look to see if anybody else led any laps because it didn't matter.
Yeah,
But
if they did, it was like on the pit on the lap,
Right.
the pit slap when they're all going
Something.
in or whatever. Yeah, yeah. No, I did notice that, and then you had sent to me about the racing at the end. Was it clean racing, dirty racing?
I thought it was clean, but still it was something because there wasn't much going on, right? As far as what happened to
I guess
Justin Allgaier,
here's my question for you on this though. When we're talking clean racing and dirty racing,
mm-hmm.
like when you're going for the checker, is there like when you're in the last end of a race, is there dirty racing?
Yeah, and I think that there was dirty racing that happened in the Cup Series, and we'll talk about that. And it wasn't who you think it was. I thought it was somebody else that just got lucky, but we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're side to side and you're side drafting and you're putting your tire into their side a little bit, if you're running them up and they've got to pull back, I think that's fair. You decided to take the high line. If they're going to go low and when you're in Phoenix, the high line is the fast line. So you really need to outpace them and you need to get clear. And if you can't get clear, like they're going to slow you up. So, I thought that was clean. I thought that's what everybody does. And in this race, that's what we got. So yeah, I thought it was clean.
Yeah, no, I thought this one was clean, but I really look, unless you totally like take them out, like just feed them up to where you're just taking them out. To me, like at the end, I'm going for the win, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if I haven't been there, and it's it's like, bro, like I'm waiting for the instant when, and then again now this is talking more Cup where Kyle Busch sees that checkered flag, and he's there, and it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, when's the old Rowdy gonna come back?
That's the thing. Like I feel like as a driver, as competitors, man, when you start knowing, okay, this could be my only chance this year of seeing this checkered flag, what would I and what won't I do? I mean, I don't know that there's not a lot that some of those guys would do, and I think some of them would even take people out.
Oh, 100%.
And it's gonna be very interesting. And then also you had we were talking off video on this to be transparent about it. The walls 3 into 3 out of 4 and all those there. That area there. I know Austin Hill hit the inside of that wall.
Right.
Kind of got a little bit too low, he said, and just didn't even just thought he had room and didn't, and then it was too late. And then you're talking about the I believe the corner out of 4. It's a little it sticks out a little bit there.
Yeah, a little bit.
So what do you I guess what would you recommend as a solution to this that a track could do? I mean, that they could do before the championship race, of course. What could they do, which would be November, sometime in November, they'll probably be back. So 8 months, you had to have 8 months. What could you do to kind of the problems that you saw? What would you like to see addressed?
I want to see the wall moved. I mean, I'll be honest with you. So, Phoenix, they're all over the place. They're all over the track. And it's odd to me to have an inside wall as, a navigating wall.
Yeah.
So we saw Austin Hill. Austin Hill clipped the end of it as he was coming around the corner. The guy in front of him, I forget exactly who was in front of him, just sort of took his vision away. He thought he was clear and he just barely tapped it, right? And that brought him back out into, into the track, and it took a couple of other people out. And to me, that wall doesn't need to be there. So you look at it and it's not protecting people, it's not pit road. We were looking at it. It looks like it may be an area where campers drive in and out, but I'm sorry, figure it out some other way. You don't need an inside wall and a corner as a navigating wall. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I know they've got them in some other places, but this is a fast track and it's a little dangerous. Now, the other part to that is what we were talking about, which is sort of where it comes out where they're cutting through and they're making that big shortcut through the flat part. And, everyone else, they're going, it's you either take the high line and you stay on the track or you cut through there. They've got this wall that kind of sticks out, and it looks like that might be pit lane. I'm not sure, but it's kind of cornered and it's kind of edged. And I mean, like, they've got to cut in quick or they're running into it. And I mean, at some point in time, somebody's going to go head first into that, and that's not going to be pretty. And that needs to be dealt with because that is dangerous. And if that means they can't cut through, or they need to put an area where they can't cut through earlier, whether that's putting up candy stripes like they do at a road track or something, they need to figure that out because they're cutting it close. They're cutting it real close.
Yeah, they're like they always do. The drivers, I mean, you hear I think Boyer and Harvick, and then also when they go over, every time the racers are in there, if you give them an inch, they're going to try to go a mile. They're going to try to push it further than what you're saying we can go. We're going to see exactly how far we can really take this and use up as much of the track as possible. And I thought, when we get into the other race, which when they threw in the option tires, I found it very interesting, the difference in the racing on how a lot of this was going on. And I'm looking at the racing, there's so many damn different ones. And then I guess they moved the start finish line recently. And like, now I'm trying to make sure I got the right map here. And I see what you're saying there. And there's there's a lot of, like, I wouldn't say useless wall, but there seems to be a lot of, you could push that back down a little bit. It looks like there's a little of a driveway type area there. You could push the wall down a little bit in there just to give them a little bit of play, like you're saying. I think, look, man, I think if they don't want to have any big issues, and again, to me, Phoenix has always been what I thought was a safe race. But this year, there was a lot of issues, man. I mean, when we talked the Cup side, I didn't really watch, like I said, all of the Xfinity side. But, jumping over to Cup, if you will now.
Yeah, let's do it.
You had brake rotors. You had tires go down. There was just a lot of things that I don't really remember seeing a lot. And then you added in the 2 sets of option tires. And I thought it made for a better race. I thought there was, again, you still had your front runners. You had Bell, you had Byron, you had, who else was up there? Like
Denny didn't lead a lot of laps, but Denny was up there a lot.
Yeah, Logano was up there before they went red. On yellow tires, they were doing better than, Priest actually drove back from like 33rd up to the lead.
That was stage 1, right? Exactly.
Stage 1 there. And I think that showed what those tires could do. Now, for me, and again, anybody that hasn't known yet, Christopher Bell took his third straight race. And I mean, my goodness, this kid is on a roll right now. And I looked up, there was a couple people on the list.
Do you know who has the most straight wins? Who it is?
I believe it's Jimmy Johnson, right?
No, it's the King.
Oh, well, Richard Petty. Yeah, I didn't go that far back in there.
10.
I didn't go. Yeah, I didn't go.
Christopher Bell has a long way to go, but Richard Petty
I don't
with
think
10
in modern day racing, I don't think that's ever going to happen, man.
Probably not,
because the King had the better car than anybody else that was out. Those are the days when cars were finishing 53 laps under, like the top 5, 53 laps under. But recently in '92, Bill Elliott won 3 in a row, finished second for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Harvick did it in 18, finished 3rd. And it was funny because I was like, oh, Christopher Bell's won 3 in a row. It felt like he was leading most of yesterday. It felt like he was up front all the time. So I thought, point-wise, he should be leading. And then I go look, and no, it's William Byron.
Yeah.
William Byron with a 13-point lead.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the, how is this guy doing this?
Did he get penalized? I'm not sure. I have no idea.
And actually, the big penalty was Briscoe, who got the appeal and won. So now he's not, because he was the one that was like, 144 points behind everybody because they took 100 points from him. But I mean, it's just I thought about it too, and I looked at it and I said, okay, Christopher Bell. Him and Byron have two real common characteristics. They're always there. They're always there at the end of the race, man. They're always, if you watch it, the 20, the 24 are usually somewhere in that top 5, top 10, making a little bit of noise depending on whatever. And again, yesterday they were up front a lot more than normal, because normally to me I felt like you don't really get the 20 up there until the end. It just feels like he just kind of he's there. He might sneak up and grab 8th or 9th to take a couple of points, and then at the end it comes down to it, and there he is at the end. And man, it feels like, when you look at Vegas, he could be going for 4 in a row, man. He could be going.
Yeah.
King might be in trouble.
Yeah. Hey.
Because then after that, it's Homestead, which is just like Phoenix. So that puts C. Bell at 5 in a row. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. But what did you think of C. Bell and the racing yesterday?
So I thought this was the first race that Christopher Bell won where he looked dominant.
Yeah.
Didn't just kind of take it over at the end. When we got to Coda, he didn't look dominant all day, but then he did kind of look dominant there in the last 20 laps or so. Yeah. Not 20, that's a lot in Coda. 10 laps or so. And then obviously Atlanta, he just kind of snuck in there and he was in a good position, right?
Yep.
This was the first one where he looked like he should have won the race. I think he dominated. I think this is a situation where, you've heard me say all season so far, and I'm sure I'll say it again, the best car didn't win. I just said Justin Allgaier didn't win, and he was the best car. Well, Christopher Bell won, and he was the best car.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought of him. I thought he was dominant.
And I thought the only car that would really stand a chance with him was Byron, and then he got caught in the pits during the last caution.
Right.
And that put him so far back that it kind of eliminated any hope that he was going to have there. And then again, with Denny, I never put it by him to take somebody out. I don't. I love Denny Hamlin. He's my guy. But again, you're talking teammates. You're talking
right.
If I think if somebody else is there, that driving's a little more than what he did. I believe. I think Hamlin pushes the envelope a little bit more for the win over somebody else rather than his teammate, in case he takes them both out, and then now you've got 2 wrecked cars, and neither one wins the race.
So, except for the fact that he was on the outside line, he was in the weak position as far as.
No, he was.
Yeah, he's not really in a spot where he can dictate who's going into the wall. Like, he either needs to try to
slow it down a little bit and then get in the back.
Spin him,
crossover, spin him, take him.
Hey, he could do the Austin Cindric, yeah.
Yeah. That's your boy.
It is, but all right. So speaking of trying to spin people, I told you I thought there was some dirty racing at the end.
No, yeah, there was dirty racing throughout. Actually, when if you saw some of the wrecks the way they happened, it was like, what is that guy doing there? Like the one, who was it? The one where it was the first big wreck, and I think somebody got kind of nudged up, and then Chase Briscoe just launched on top of him. I mean, it was just like.
So that actually we saw that in the same spot. And what that is, I noticed throughout the race, I'm talking about this wall that's sticking out, right? Yeah. And you can't hit it. What it's doing is it's causing people to kind of bomb up into that corner. And you've got a collection of people that's 4 wide, and all of a sudden they're trying to go down to 3 and there's no space.
Yeah.
So those cars that are in the middle, that third car in the middle, they're getting crushed. And then we've got an accident. And, the accident in the corner, whatever, that's kind of normal. That's racing. But at some point in time, somebody's not going to be able to bomb in there, and they're going to go into that wall. And that's why I think that's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous for the person going face first into it, but it is causing a lot of accidents right there. And it's slowing the race down.
Yeah. No, there was almost 40 something caution laps in this race.
Yeah.
Not counting the stage ones. I mean, the one at the end was 13 laps of caution as they cleaned everything up and did everything else there. For you, any surprises for you?
All right, so let me get to the dirty race part, and I'll tell you
No,
the
no, sorry.
surprises.
Not that. Yep.
No, you're good. We good. So Kyle Larson. I mean, did you see it?
Which one?
So
I feel
at the
like
very end, all right. So at the very end, right, you're coming out of 4, and he's low, and he realizes he can't get through him. So he goes to sideswipe Christopher Bell's bumper. I mean, he was going to take Bell, and he was going to take Denny, and he was going to put him in the wall. Like that was his move there. He just missed it. He didn't have enough speed to get up high enough. That was dirty as hell. Like that's not cool.
it just didn't play out. He was setting up for it. Again.
Yeah.
That's where I say for these guys, I hear what they say every week and how they talk about, oh, I'm going to race you how you race me and all that. Man, when that turn 4 is coming up and that checkered flag is waving, man, I feel like unless it's a teammate or a car you own, you're not taking that person. You're not, you're going to race them hard, but you're not going to do like what you said, like Kyle Larson set up to where you saw him. He just missed it. He
missed it. He was too far behind.
But if he would have got there,
no, he was going to turn him sideways.
We're talking probably differently today.
Yeah, no, he was going to turn him sideways. He was going to do exactly. He was going to get penalized. He wasn't going to win the race because they would have taken it away from him. I don't know who was in 4th. Chris Buescher or Josh Berry would have run the race at that point in time, it was pretty close. So maybe Bell and Hamlin would have rolled into the line. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Maybe they would have turned as they're turning across into the line or whatever. But
we could have had a Ricky Bobby sprint to the.
That would have been great. Larson, Hamlin, and Bell trying to sprint to the thing. All of them slip and fall, and they got to reach their hand out. Like, oh yes.
All right. So surprises, right? At this point in time, I don't think it should be a surprise, but I want to talk about Josh Berry. I think Josh Berry is going to win a couple of races this year. I think more than one. I think 2. Wood Brothers has finally got a driver in there that he's doing really well. We talk about Byron being in positions to win races, and he got Daytona. Josh Berry has been in position to win a lot of these races, and it's going to play out. He's going to win at least 1, if not 2, and we're talking about a new driver in the playoffs, in my opinion. I think Josh Berry has been the best performing driver in a Ford this year. And, we're talking about a former champion. We're talking about a former Rookie of the Year. We're talking about Joey freaking Logano. Has he won more than 1 championship? He's got 2 or 3. I don't even know. Yeah.
2, I believe, maybe 3.
Yeah, so
definitely 2 I know of.
Right. And he's outperforming all of them as far as a Ford driver. And he's not on the biggest team. He's with Wood Brothers. So, I think he's been really impressive. I think he's going to win a couple races. If this keeps going, I think he's going to be somebody to deal with in the playoffs. He may not make it to the final stage, but I could see him making it past the first couple of stages and into like the final 8. Just very impressed with Josh Berry.
Yeah, I was just going to look to see where he is because, like you said, I feel like he's been up there every week, man, and he was also one of the ones that I had like right now. I mean, he's not doing terrible. He's in the 21st position, but also I feel like he does that where he sticks around so he doesn't get a lot of stage points, so that hurts him in a little bit. But I think he's going to be there for a win, and a win gets you in. So, right. And if Christopher Bell keeps winning all these damn races. I mean, Bell. There's not gonna be a lot of because what is it? It's the first 20 races of the 32. So now we're 1/5 of the way through, and Christopher Bell has 3 wins.
Yeah, and
by the way,
and that'll probably chill out, right? Like we had Tyler Reddick last year or the year before won 5 races, and Kyle Larson had a couple, and we still had 12. It was 2 years ago. We had 12, race winners. So they're going to spread out. We're going to get more winners. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, I think the crazy thing is it's been done on different tracks, right? He won on the Super Speedway. We're calling Atlanta now. He won on the road course. Now he wins in Phoenix. Like, it's not just like, oh, he won back-to-back in Daytona and Atlanta. No, he's done it on three different types of courses, and it's pretty badass of him, man. And again, he's been through a lot, man. I mean, he's been at Gibbs what feels like forever, and they stuck with them. They gave him the opportunity, and now they're starting to see the benefits of it. Just like the 24 in Byron, that didn't start out that well either.
Right.
Now you're starting to see, I honestly felt like Bowman was doing better than Byron until recently. Now it feels like Byron's getting more of the wins than Bowman's getting up there.
We've got the battle of the babyface assassins.
Oh man, there's a lot of babyface assassins in there now. A couple of them try to grow beards, but they're like patches. Yeah, it's like, what are we doing here? What are we trying to try? You don't want to be the babyface. For you, the option tire. How do you think that helped or hurt the racing?
I thought it was interesting. So we saw the difference it could make early in the race. We saw Ryan Preece drive from the back to the front, and I think he got third in that stage.
Yeah.
So we got 8 points or whatever it is for the first stage, and then we didn't really see very much of him for the rest of the race.
Yeah, nope.
And the second stage, I'm not really sure who was taking tires where. I wasn't really able to keep up with that.
I believe Logano had them at a point. Hold on a minute. I had some notes, but then everybody started pitting and taking them, so then I lost track on who had the option tires. So Logano got a penalty, and then at that penalty, they ended up doing the tires. Well, he did it after that. I'm sorry. Yeah, so he was the second or third one to do it. During stage 2, Priest, Ross Chastain, Cindric, Suarez, and Haley all did them, and all did it. And then so Cindric was 6th. He went to the lead for a portion. Suarez was 21st when he had the tires. He went to 6th. Haley didn't move at all. He just stayed right at 16th. And then Priest, of course, we saw what he did, where he went from the back to the front, and then we saw what happened once other cars got the tires on there. So, again, I don't know, it definitely showed that it changes the racing thing. But here was my question I wanted to pose to you, using the strategy of the option tires.
Yes.
With the option tires, I feel like we need to stop throwing the cautions at the end of stages.
Okay.
I feel, if you say lap 45 is the stage, you can throw whatever you want to do, a green, the green check or whatever. The stage is over. This lap, give the points, award them as they are, but let them continue racing. Because again, a lot of them are saved because you throw on the tires because you're only going to race maybe 20, 30 laps till the end, and then we can pull them back up because we're going to get the caution anyways.
Right, then you can put them on later as scuff off.
And then you can save them or have everything else. If you have to do it and it's still a green, then it's really a strategy play because you're not guaranteed. Again, if a caution comes up, a caution comes up. That's the luck of the draw. But to know that, we can do it now because in 10 laps we're getting a yellow anyways because the stage ends.
Right.
I don't feel like that's strategy. That's just like kind of playing the game in a way to me. I feel like the strategy comes with, we're going to do this, but then we got to do a green, you're going to do a green flag stop apparently. And then now if you mess up there, then everything you did with the red tire means nothing. And then vice versa for the ones that are on the regular tire and then go to the option tire. You mess up in the pits, it doesn't say it hurts you. It doesn't save you.
It's an interesting idea. I guess I never really thought about it. So instead of stopping at the end of stage 1 at lap 65 or whatever it is, you want to keep going.
Yeah, you throw the flag, you give the points for whatever.
And keep going.
You can see what but they continue the race.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you're giving teams already a good advantage with this tire.
Right.
And then now it's not really a strategy play. It's just like, we throw it on in this pit and then we take it up because the laps underneath, you had enough gas. You could go the whole at least the first and second stage. Now the third stage, yes, now it gets into a little bit more. But if you have that the whole race, I think it changes things in the complex. I honestly wish they would stop throwing the caution flags at the end of all the stages, to be honest.
All right, so let's play that out though, right? So let's say you put the red tires on with 10 laps. So
Mhm.
you had to stop to put them on. So you gave up some track position.
Yep.
Okay. So you drive through the
Mhm.
pack and then you gain some track position back, and you've taken the gamble that you're going to be able to gain more than you lost. That's the idea.
Mhm.
Um, However, nobody says you have to pit. Man, not
It's
everybody has to
exactly-
pit.
but then also though,
If you
you're
want
not.
to gain that track position, I mean, you could just stay out.
Yeah, but you're not wearing out your tires either. You're saving them. They're not having to run.
Right.
Because that was another thing that Larry McReynolds said yesterday. He said, what's very interesting here is Joey Logano pitted and took his tires off and cooled them off. And then now when he puts them back on, it's going to be just the same, like they're almost a new set again.
Right.
But again, if you're making that decision and you're trying to, then it should be more of a strategy play other than, okay, we know we got the caution flag coming in, even if it's 50 laps. Okay, we do it now because in 50 laps, we're just going to take them off and put the yellows on. But would you do that same thing if you knew you weren't getting the caution for the end of the stage? And again,
Probably not.
I'm not throwing in any cautions could happen anytime.
Right.
We've seen that in NASCAR there. But if I feel like it's not really a strategy play. It's it's dumb if we don't do it play.
Yeah, but
we
if
get a
everybody's
free chance to put them
doing
on
it,
and a free chance to take them off, why the hell not?
well, because you're giving up track position to put them on, also, right? So
But the track position that you gain with that. Now again, I get it. If all 30 drivers put on reds, then it comes down to your cars and everything else. But like the early times was like, to me, was just like, do those guys make that decision if they know that they're not automatically getting that? Like, does Ryan Preece do all that knowing that, okay, when the yellow comes out for the end of the stage, I'm third, and now I got to put on yellows and I'll fall back in stage 2. But
no, he absolutely doesn't. No, he went in there understanding that he wasn't probably going to do very well. What did he end up getting? Let's see. I'll look it up in a moment. I don't know where he finished, but he wasn't anywhere near the front that I remember. Right, so you're probably not going to place well. You take a chance at it. You take a jab at it. You get a couple of stage points. That way, you can get out of there feeling like you had a decent day. I mean, that's a strategy too, right?
yeah, well, that's what that team is really doing, a lot of that strategy, because Ryan Preece right now, and again, I don't know if this, I'm taking in that NASCAR has already added in this weekend's race. Right now, he sits in 24th position with 68 points. Do you know how many stage points he's won this year so far?
No.
44.
Okay.
So his finishes have been not great,
Yeah.
but he's led. He's won a stage. He's finished third in a stage, so he's picking up stage points. And so again, I wonder if you do not have all these stage breaks, does it change the strategy of the drivers and the guys in the pits?
Of course it does.
Then it becomes really a strategic play. Because right now, I just feel like I guess you're making you can call it strategy by saying, oh, we're going to throw them on a little bit earlier than everybody else. But is it really a strategy when you know the end result is we're getting the yellow anyways to take them off? If you didn't know you were going to get the yellow, would you do the same thing knowing that when those red tires wear off, you're going to drop until you come into pit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's where I felt like it was almost like a duh situation. Like, you're going to have to throw them on because you know everybody else is. Like, Priest did it early because he wanted to get the points because he knew he didn't have a car to win. So, hey, let's get up, let's steal some points and have a decent day. And that's what you saw from him.
Yeah, but also why not just not use them until the end and ride red tires one after the other, leave them unscuffed. You may be further back in the pack, but if you can stay on a lead lap, by not taking certain pits, doing some of those things, those tires are going to last longer. We're pitting more than we're going to run out of gas. If you can stay on a lead lap and you can run red tires for the last I don't know, 80 laps, whatever it
That's what I
was.
feel like those other guys did, and that's why the racing got tighter toward the end to me because everybody had that red tire, so everybody was able to keep it, close. Except for I think the leaders kind of pulled away like a second and a half away from third, but there was good racing around because everybody had the red tires pretty much, except for the ones that had used them up.
Well, the red tires are also a gamble. I mean, we saw a lot of front right tires
Tires go down.
blow. We saw Bubba Wallace go into the wall. A couple of other people, I can't remember
His ended up
specifically who,
being
but
brakes.
Bubba Wallace, I remember.
His was brakes. Michael
His was a
McDowell.
break.
Yeah, Michael McDowell did go into the wall. Yeah.
Okay, blowing the front right.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
But it was weird. His was weird because it was almost like 3 or 4 laps after they put on the reds. They went like almost instantly. Like I don't know if he hit something or if there was something with the setup of the car and the way they did the tire.
right.
It wasn't like a lot of laps were ran. It was just like, and then boom, he went.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying, like for me, I don't like the stage ins. I don't. I feel like you slow down the action and you take away really the strategy from it because now all you're doing, and I mean, we've heard it all the time from all the crew chiefs is they plan stage to stage,
Right.
That's how they plan out the race. Or in some races, they plan it backwards because they know where they need to be at the finish. So they know where they have to, where the stage breaks and everything else falls in place. So, I mean, I guess there's a strategy there, but if they weren't throwing that yellow flag and you didn't get those 2 free cautions, I feel like it changes things and makes better racing.
I mean, they did that for the entire existence of NASCAR before they did the stages. And I'll be honest, I like the stages. I've gotten accustomed to them. It breaks the race up. There are a lot of times I'm watching a race and it turns into an afternoon nap and I wake up and there's 30 laps left and I don't know what happened. And that happens a lot less with this. It breaks it up. And then we've got the last maybe half the race where they're really going for long periods of time. And to me, that's enough. I like it. It also gives more opportunity for points. It makes the middle of the race matter. It makes people stay engaged. It makes people watch the race longer because they stay engaged. They don't just wait till the end.
Yeah, but I feel like if you did it still and okay, lap 45, if that's the lap that, you're on the air and you're like, hey, this is 45, we got to go for it here. Then you go for it and then
it also causes a lot more exciting racing. Like those stage points matter. We see people taking chances at lap 45 or lap 90 or whatever lap it is, trying to get a stage win. And we wouldn't get that if those weren't there. They would just be another time around the track.
Take the stage wins and all that out.
Okay.
Take the yellow out. Why stop the action? Why stop it?
Yeah, I could see that.
That's my problem with it. It's like, okay, at 65, you throw the stage flag. Okay, that's over. But they just continue doing. You continue. They've done it at a couple of, I think, they did it at one of the All-Star races, I think. They ran it kind of like that where, and also I think one of the road courses they did it too, as well, where they kind of just threw the flag and then everybody continued on and they got the points for where they were at that point. I just don't like the stopping of the yell because, and again, this is, one of those things to where you might get saved by the bell, technically. By some team might get saved by the bell because, let's just limp it around until we only got 3 laps to go. Okay, go. But if you're not getting a yellow, then you're bringing it in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there's just so much more. It would put more on the, and again, here, this guy sitting here talking about it is talking about putting more on the teams and the drivers when they're probably like, dude, we don't want any more shit on us. But it just, at times, I feel like when you have that option tire to me, it just felt like, okay, I know, once it comes down to the end, everybody's loading up. They're just trying to get to that one part where they can get to the end on the option tires, except for the teams that don't think they stand a chance. And then they get the free caution to just do it. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm petty about it, but it feels like there's not really a strategy play. It's more like a if you don't do it, you're dumb play.
Yeah, so I agree with you, except for in this race, the red tires made a difference in certain places, but the cars that won the race, they were the best
Oh no, yeah,
cars
they were winning
on
with
yellow.
yeah, yes.
You know, they were the best cars on red, on yellow. It didn't matter. So, I thought it made a little difference in the middle of the stages where people were throwing them on, where other people were trying to save. But outside of that, once everybody sort of had them on, I thought it equaled out. And also, it gave people a little bit more traction. It gave them more ability to move around, right? And that makes an exciting race as well.
Yeah, and that was the thing I liked about this race too with Phoenix was for the first time it felt like again, it wasn't just everybody kind of in a line driving around where I feel like that's where and I even tweeted, I was like, man, throw this option tire on at Homestead. Like I feel like that
They
race
probably will. We'll see it.
I would
I
love
bet we
to
will.
see it there, you know. And then somebody else was like, "Oh, Richmond could use it too." And there was a few races, you know, they threw on out a couple other things. They were like, "Oh no, the Homestead racing's fine." But to me, I don't think the Homestead racing is fine. I know there's, you know, there's strategy involved and all this stuff, and I get that part of it. But like that tire made a difference to me as a fan watching that race. Maybe not the 1 and 2 because those cars, you know, again, if we didn't get the late caution, I think the race finishes a lot differently or not as close. You know, maybe not as different as far as positioning because I think Hamlin was second before the caution too. Anyways, but the grouping behind was tight. There was 3 wide racing going in along through the whole day, man. And that to me, you know, at least makes it a little bit more exciting than just watching cars just do laps, man. Like I want to watch that in Bristol because then they're beating and banging. You know, it's 100 laps, just demolition derby style. Not at a mile and a half where they get so strung out that everybody's just reminds me of my days of the RC car where you had it on the track and you just push the buttons. You know,
Yeah, the other cars behind it, and it can never catch up.
just never catch up. It's like okay. So, all right, man. For you, Vegas. You ready for the Vegas race, man?
I am ready for Vegas. Always ready for Vegas.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting to see because I feel like Kyle usually runs good here, man. I want Kyle to get that win this year. I want him to get a win and be done with it, man. Get the monkey off your back, buddy.
Kyle, yeah. I mean, he's got to be the front runner, right?
Well,
He's
I
gotta
don't
be.
know. Christopher Bell's got to be the front runner. I don't know anybody.
I guess that's fair, yeah. But I don't know. It's Vegas. I would say Kyle's probably the front runner.
Every week you go to the track, it's 20 and 24 the first 2 cars. Those are the first guys I look at when I look at it and go, I don't care how they're coming off the truck. For some reason, those teams have it figured out to where they're getting there. They almost remind me of really of Harvick and Logano and those guys where they're not there all day and then all of a sudden it's like 10 to go. Oh, look at that.
There they are.
Not Harvick at the end because
No, yeah, via 2019 kind of Harvick. Yes.
It's like boom, there's the 4, there's the 29, there's the whatever, you know, the 22's there now. It's always the 20, the 24, the 5. You always have those, you know, your normal guys up there racing for the win, and those guys seem to have figured out something nobody else has. So
I want to see Chase Elliott do something.
yeah, something.
And he's been quiet. He's been very quiet.
Yeah.
He's been mired in the middle.
The Bowman Gray,
involved.
he had a big thing at Bowman Gray, and then that's been it, right? I mean, the 500, I think he qualified well, and then kind of it's fizzled.
Yeah, I think he's just been getting involved in the middle and kind of getting mired down, and he's been involved in a couple of accidents, and it's just not.
Yeah, and it's so funny too, right? Because the 20 is JGR, so you would think the 11, the 19, the 54 would be running as well as the 20, and then when you look at the 24, the 48, the 9, Kyle Larson, the 5, it just feels like those 2 teams and those 2 cars and those 2 teams have something figured out that the other 3 teams in there don't figure out or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way the driver connection with the crew chief. everything. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like there's just something different there, man.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see Hendrick step it up. They always do.
Yeah, no, they do. They do, but I don't want Hendrick stepping up, buddy. All right? I want the 11 to come through. I want the 8 to win a race. And then I want the 11 to win the rest of the races out. I want Denny Hamlin to win 28 races. Or no, sorry. If he wins this one, that'll be the 5th. 27 races in a row after Vegas. At Homestead, it starts. That's my prediction. Hamlin, 27 straight races.
I'd like to see a watermelon get broken at some point.
No, I want a watermelon broken over Ross Chastain's head. That would be good. That would be good. Hey, he keeps driving sometimes like he does. Somebody might take him out with a watermelon.
He has been pretty reckless.
But that's the way he drives, man. That's like, it's the whole thing with, Hocevar and all that stuff, man. Like, let these young guys be the young guys, man. That's what, dude, make it good, man. Don't be like, everybody's got to drive like me. Everybody's got to drive like, no. Screw that, man. Like, I wish they wouldn't have banned the damn Ross Chastain move. I'd love to see that.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, put the car against the wall and see who does it. Because not everybody's got driving ability to make it happen.
I just love that he got that off the video game. He's like, yo, this used to work on the simulator. I think I can do this.
Days of Thunder, baby, except the car didn't have him crushed against the wall. It was him by himself.
Yeah. He just happened to know. He's like, this is the only place you can pull it off. The wall here, you just come right off of it. You're not going to smash into it, It's got that little out, and bam, you're out there. It's beautiful. This is
amazing.
The most incredible thing I've ever seen. It was awesome.
It makes this stuff so good, man. Like, for me, wrestling and racing, just so good because of the unpredictability.
It's
even though wrestling, I get everybody knows choreographed. The outcomes are, but I don't know what the outcomes are. I'm not in the meetings, and with racing, you never know because there's so many damn things that can happen. A penalty by the driver, penalty by the team, freaking dumb driver caution in the last minute, and then the green white checker, and you've been leading the race the whole time, and then boom, no mas.
Oh, so speaking of Vegas, let's talk about the tweet you sent out.
Which one? What I sent out?
Chelsea Green.
Oh, yes, that's right. My champion, my Presidente of the United States, the women's champion, will be driving the pace car.
That's right. I hope she brings the belt with her.
Oh, she will. She will. Definitely will. That must be in accordance with the WrestleMania coming up there.
Maybe. That's fair. I didn't think about that. Yeah. They are in Vegas. Okay.
Yeah, but that again, that's in April. But again, they're in Vegas races now, so I think it's going to be a cool part there. I know at Daytona, they had the entrance thing there too. They had a whole WWE setup outside the Daytona 500 and the other races there this year too. WWE had a big presence out there.
Nice.
Everything. So we'll see. But yeah, man, Chelsea, that gets me excited, man. I might watch. I'm going to watch pre-race festivities.
There you go.
I was upset this week, though. Where's Michael Waltrip? Where's my the walk?
I didn't see him.
He wasn't there this week, man. I hope everything's well with him.
Me too.
I'm kind of upset they took him off the trucks, too, man.
We get trucks back next week?
Yes, in Vegas. Yes, they come back. But,
okay.
But he hasn't been a part of the 2 races so far. Maybe it's just the way they're doing it, I don't know, but he hasn't been there. So I want him back, man. I need my MW 55.
I mean, he's the best on this. He's the best. He
just says
even when he was racing, he always had the best personality.
Yeah, it's probably what got him in trouble with the race, and everybody's like, "Oh, we can't have him on." Man, all right, Spitz, let them know where they can see you, man, where they can get you.
All right, you can find me on X at NoDoubt87, and you can find me here.
Are you live tweeting the racing yet, or are you still not? You're not on that X there yet.
No, I haven't live tweeted the race. I mean, yeah. I guess I could, but
I do it at times. But then you know what I find myself do? I start watching the race, and then I'm like, "Oh damn, I haven't sent anything out in a while." Oh well, I'll get it later. Same thing I do when I watch wrestling too. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna live tweet it all the way," and then I just end up doing this match is next. Oh, there's your victory and done. But I appreciate everybody that's watching us on Stanley Media _11 on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, or at Stanley Media House on Facebook, and of course the Twitch at Sean Stanley Sports Talk. So appreciate each and every one of you. Spencer, till next week, my friend. I will talk to you then. And for everybody else, we'll see you next week right here, Mondays, 7 p.m. Talkin' Racing Now.